Greetings, 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 and salutations, one and all. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the night shift. It's a brand spanking new week, brand spanking new month. We get to celebrate Jamaica's emancipendence. So many things, so many things. Welcome to Community and Finance right here on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew on kevinstew.com. I want to say big ups to all the affiliate stations. Top of the morning to you over there in the UK, One Harmony Radio. Big ups, big ups, big ups to you guys over there in the UK. Big ups to those on WGLRO, home of the Donna Walker Morning Show, taking you from the sheets to the streets. The People Station, touching from Detroit to Denmark and all points in between. Big ups to all those on I already said WGLRO. Doubling up now. Big ups to all those on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome to you guys. Those on PEMGTV.com. And of course, right here at the home of the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, kevinstew.com. So glad to have you. I couldn't do it without you, and you have my word. I wouldn't even try. I want to say big ups to Mr. Lindsay, Clinton Lindsay. You can catch him from 12 to 3 on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com. Kicking it off with some neighborhood music. The sound of Shelly Sweet Shells, South Florida native. It's called My Neighbor. I want to say thanks to some neighbors of mine that helped to make all this possible. Thanks to Pulse Media Group, sponsor of our first segment of the show. When being in a moment is priceless, give them a call. Innovative streaming and recording solutions, 754-999-6020. Or you can visit them at paulcmg.com. They can do everything you see right here on kevinstew.com. They can provide you with streaming services. They can host your website. They can help to create a website for you or just create it for you. If you want to take a step further and have your own internet broadcasting TV station, they can hook you up with that too. So whether it is just to stream an event or you want to take it a little further, I want to say thanks to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands. Althea is a licensed massage therapist that comes to you Operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade, and South Palm Beach counties. She brings her tables, she has her oils. All you got to do is pay her and get her off her table when she's done. Yeah, believe me, that's difficult because I've fallen asleep on that table, and I know some people who have also. Give her a call, 954-655-9000. Email her at theolate@att.net. See if she can squeeze you in these quarantine times. Just make sure you have a recent COVID test available to prove that you're clean. I want to say thanks to Reggae Global Entertainment. Reggae Global will take care of your bookings, your tour management, your publishing, your trademarks, your business registration, your legal service referrals, music production, marketing and promotion, and so much more. Give them a call, 954-998-8034, or visit them at reggaeglobalentertainment.com. Tell them you heard about them on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. And big ups to GMAT Music Solutions, sponsors of our musical therapy segment. They take care of sound, light, stage production services, musical equipment, PA systems, audio engineers, DJs, musicians, singers, and so much more. Give them a call, 754-307-GMAC. That's 754-307-4622, or you can jump on their website, gmatmusicsolutions.com. You can also do your online shopping there. So if you have a neighbor, whether you like them or not, near or far, give them a call and say, listen, Kevin just went into the neighborhood and he called the cops. Yes, he did. The question is anybody in trouble? Who's the cop coming to protect? Who's the cop gonna serve? Tonight I have with me representing out of my neighboring community, the community of Lauderhill. I have with me Officer Chauncey Sims.
Yes,
Chauncey,
sir, yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you, Kevin?
I am great.
Outstanding.
Welcome to the night shift. I would like for you to know that as of 30 seconds ago, you're no longer a stranger, so you'll get this welcome one time.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Oh, I am so glad that you were able to squeeze us in to come and share with us about policing the community.
Yes, sir.
And being the police in the community.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And tell us a little bit about who Officer Sims is, who Chauncey Sims is.
All right. Well, for the listeners, I want to thank you for having me on and for tuning in. My name is Officer Chauncey Sims, Senior. I'm a senior. I've been working with the city of Lauderhill for 17 years as a police officer. I've done everything at the police department, from being the SWAT commander to being in charge of the Detectives Bureau, where I investigated child abuse, sex crimes, homicides, anything you can imagine. I was a supervisor over the unit, so I was responsible for several detectives who took care of those things. But as a smaller police department, I was responsible for going out with him and working side by side as I supervised him.
Nice.
Yes, I am originally from Denver, Colorado,
Oh,
home of the Denver Broncos and the Colorado Rockies.
that's a little bit of a drive.
Yes, it is a long drive and definitely a different weather structure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
moved from
that.
the snow. Yes, sir. I'm the father of 3 children. My oldest is 27. He'll be 28 on the 16th. My middle daughter, she's 24. She'll be 25 on the 14th. And I have a 3-year-old who turned 3 in January.
Ah, the boss.
Yes, yes, yes. I just put her down a little while ago. She wanted to stay up and listen in.
That's the boss right there.
Yes, indeed. Yes, she runs the house. She runs the house. Yes. So a little bit more about me. I played football at Colorado State University. I did
Nice.
4 years there.
Hmm.
I happened to be a part of the first team that ever won a bowl game in 1991 at the Freedom Bowl. We played against the Oregon Ducks. And so we're in the history books there in Colorado. Um, I also, I didn't further any football careers because of course, the injuries took over.
Yeah,
And yeah, so, you had to go to plan B.
right.
Yeah, so my plan B was to join the United States Army, where I served 4 years as a sergeant. I was a chemical operations specialist, where I trained military troops on chemical defenses from all the chemical warfare we were facing.
Hmm.
So I got a dishonorable discharge in 1997, and I went on to my next career, which was being a mailman with the post office.
Oh,
So I worked with the post office for about 7 years, delivering the mail in Colorado. You can imagine that.
nice.
Yes, yes, yes. So I took a trip down to South Florida to visit family,
Hmm.
and I saw that they were looking for police officers. So I had applied to become a police officer in Denver, Colorado. And when I came down here and I saw these palm trees and the beautiful weather and the ocean, I said, why not? So I applied
Right,
down here.
right.
Yes, yes. And a friend of mine worked for the Lauderdale Police Department, and he said they were looking for officers. So in 2003, I put my application in and got hired right away. Right away. So I relocated down this way.
Look at that.
Right,
Just like
right.
that. You came
Just like
to
that.
South Florida for a visit and you
And
end up setting up shop.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. One of the
Wow.
best moves I've ever made. Yeah, it was one of the best moves I've ever made. I love South Florida. I love the weather. I love the people. I love the culture. I love being exposed to, being close to the islands.
Hmm.
It's just been a beautiful experience for me
Yeah.
coming from the mountains.
Yeah, you came down from the mountains, I came up from the islands, and and South Florida is home to both of us. Me
Yes,
because
sir.
it reminds me of home, and you because you like this kind of environment.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Nice.
This environment is more diverse than what I was experiencing in Colorado.
Yeah.
And you can't get jerk chicken like you can down here
That
in
there
Colorado.
you go. I know some people that know some people though up in
Yes,
Colorado, but
absolutely. Yeah,
not like down here. It's
not
not the
like down
same.
here.
It's not the
Not like
same.
down here.
I want to say welcome to those that are tuning in on Facebook Live. Remember, this is only temporary, so you can just jump on over to kevinstew.com from now instead of waiting until later. But if you want to share it out to some friends to let them know, Officer Chauncey Sims is with us today. We're looking at police in the community and how they go about policing the community. And we're learning a little bit about Chauncey. He's Chauncey right now.
Yes, yes, absolutely. No longer a stranger.
Right. So now you came down here, you applied, you got accepted and boom, now you're off the police academy and
Yes.
you're in. You're now a South Florida native. Well, you're now a South Florida resident.
Resident, yes, sir.
I guess now South Florida has claimed you as one of their own, so now
Absolutely.
you can be called a native. But it's what, 17 years? Yeah.
17 years.
Funny enough, I I came to South Florida in 2004.
Okay.
I left Jamaica in 2003, but I came to South Florida in 2004. So we came down here around January of 2004. So we came
Pretty close.
around about the
Yes, sir.
same time.
Yes, sir.
So all right,
Yes.
now you're in the police force, and you said you've worn a few hats since
Yes,
being
sir.
in.
Absolutely. I've worked in just about every aspect of our police department outside of our traffic unit. We have a traffic unit that the guys on the motorcycles that write all the tickets that everybody loves.
Right,
I haven't
right.
I haven't been a supervisor of that unit, but currently that unit falls under our special operations umbrella. So I
Mm.
work closely with those guys. So yeah, but everything else I've done everything else in the police
What
department.
was it that got you to community relations?
Well, I will be honest. Being a tactical SWAT guy, it wasn't one of my first choices.
Right.
Um, but our leadership wanted for all of their supervisors to be well rounded.
Mm-hmm.
So we started a rotation of supervisors into the various units to kind of give a kind of an introduction, and so that you're familiar with each unit in the police department. And I want to say it was 2016 I came to the community relations unit. It was called the community policing unit at the time, and I've been there ever since. Been there ever since.
Hmm. Kind of like
Been there since.
visiting South Florida.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes.
you know,
I,
you,
I,
you just
I love people and I love interacting, and I just kind of found a knack in that area, and it seemed to fit, and I was able to do not just community policing, but there's so many other aspects of policing that you can get involved
right,
in helping people solve problems within the community. It's
right, right.
important. It's what we're here for.
Yeah, true. It
Yes,
and much needed too.
absolutely,
All right. So
absolutely.
so what are you gonna walk us through tonight? Because to let everybody in on a little secret, which is not really a secret, but I'm trying to get the officer Sims and other members of the department to regularly come on and guide us, because right now one of the things that we're facing, especially here in the United States, is our police officers have a bad rap,
Yes,
and we, the citizens, often don't know how to react to certain things. We don't know how to act when a police officer walks up to us and says, "Oh, who are you? Why are you here in a particular location?" Everybody has an idea of what to say and how to respond, but we don't really. And traffic stops and domestic situations, So I'm as the community relations department does their thing, I'm trying to kind of bring you guys out onto my platform to share with the wider community
yes,
what model policing looks like. Because I'll tell you this, of all the police departments that I've heard stories about, Lauderhill Police Department has gradually had better and better reviews. So each time I hear another story about Lauderhill Police Department, it's a better story than the last. So you guys must be doing something right.
Yes, I think we are, and I think the credit should go, of course, to our police chief, Chief Constance Stanley,
Nice.
and her vision of building better communities.
Right.
And one of the misconceptions that police officers have about citizens and citizens have about police officers is that we are in some way different. For the first 9 years of my police career, I lived in the city of Lauderhill. My kids ran around in the city of Lauderhill.
Right.
I am just a regular person who does police work for a living.
Right.
So that makes me no more special than anyone else. It makes me no better than anyone else. And one of the things that I find kind of awkward is just communication, being able to walk up to somebody who you don't know and say, "Hey, how you doing? How's your day going?" And engaging in just a conversation so that they understand that I'm just a person speaking to another person about a certain situation.
Right.
And I think across our country, we've kind of polarized away from that interaction, that conversation.
Right.
And so it makes it easier to deal with each other in bad ways. But at the city of Lauderdale, our mission statement essentially is to protect our community and enhance the quality of life for our residents, the visitors, and to do it through professional police services and partnerships with the community that we serve. So just a little demographics about Lauderdale. We're only about 70,000 per census residents in the city of Lauderdale, just under that. And we have approximately 120 police officers. So in order for us as, less than 1% of the population to be able to do our jobs effectively, we have to engage the community to help and assist us in making sure that things move the way that they're supposed to go.
Right.
So with the community relations unit, it's my job, it's our job, it's my unit's job to speak with people within the community, our homeowners associations, our business owners, our landlords and property managers, our tenants, church and clergy, to interact with them so that they have a person that they feel comfortable going to present said problems that might be controversial, or might be not politically correct, and to work together to try to find a solution for that said problem.
Right.
Our police departments normally we kind of structure our enforcement around statistics. Where the most speeders are, where the most calls come in, and that may not necessarily be where the community sees issues. So if we're doing police work in an area where the community doesn't find that there's an issue, then we're basically ineffective.
Right.
Because we serve the community. So once a month I attend all of these meetings, the HOA meetings, the business meetings with landlords and tenants, meetings at schools, churches, to speak with these leaders, with these community patrons, and find out where are the problems that you see, so that then we can deploy our resources to those areas and ensure that we're not only addressing where the stats say we need to go, but also addressing where the community says we need to go. And in doing that, you build a partnership. They feel like, okay, if we give you the information of where the crimes are being committed or where the issues are, that then you will go and handle those said issues, and that partnership starts to build over time, and you end up getting a lot of things done. So that's pretty much the goal of our unit, is just to talk with our community, interact with our community, and find out where we need to go to enforce, and then pass that information up to the different departments to get them to thus go and do what we can do as police officers, because of course, being a police officer, we can't fix all problems,
Right.
but to at least go and address the enforcement, to be present where things might possibly happen, and to kind of deter things from going south.
But that's interesting, because with the number of officers being that small compared to the community to be as effective as y'all are, that that takes some help from the community itself.
Absolutely, absolutely. We start our community building in the schools. A lot of our, I mean, a lot of our programs that we do from the police department start, in the elementary schools where we read and mentor with kids, and we read books to the elementary school kids just to break the ice so that they know that we're there for them and we're touchable, we're reachable.
Right, right.
Um, and that mentorship and partnership starts to grow, and even kids that I come across that might be getting ready to fight or something, if they see me, a familiar face, it's almost like they see a family member,
Yeah.
and they don't want to disappoint the family member. So that will make them make a different choice, or at least think about the choices that they're going to make. And that, as you graduate, I've been here 17 years, so I've watched kids who were 10 who are now 27 now,
Right.
and watch them make different decisions as they go along, and for them it's beneficial, and for them you can watch them mature and attain this American dream that we all search for.
Right, right.
So if you start there, I think you build these partnerships and friendships and interactions. And my phone rings all day and night. I have to let my wife know that it's somebody from the community calling to give me information. You know,
Lest
so
there's a call to your house.
right. The officers at Lauderhill, the amount of work that we do is probably we answer more calls and for service than almost anyone in Broward County per officer. So we just work really hard and to make this thing work. Um, and then we also do special projects. So I'm going to highlight one
Hmm.
that I am in charge of is our Lauderhill Rescue Our Kids boot camp.
Okay.
So the boot camp is essentially for at-risk kids, male and female, between the ages of about 8 and 17, who might be going down the wrong path. They might be disrespectful to parents. They might be active in school. So we do a discipline boot camp where we march them. We run it just like a military boot camp. We wear Stetsons just like they do in the military when they go to basic training.
Hmm.
And essentially, we get them to start saying, yes, sir, no, ma'am, please, to ask for permission, to follow directions first, and then ask why after the directions are followed. And this assists the parents in parenting at home.
Right.
Each night after a boot camp day of drilling, we send the kids home with homework. And the homework is essentially, ask your parents what their favorite color is, who their favorite actor is, what is your parents' favorite food, things like that to get them to interact with the parents and then thus
Mm.
start the conversation on what they did in the boot camp, what
Right.
they learned, the choices and consequences, the classes we teach, and those things. And it's just something that we do with the police department during the
Yes.
summer to try to reach those kids who might be straying away from the straight and narrow.
Right.
And
Right.
it has been a very good success in getting some of those kids whose grades are down, who have may have had a run in with the law, or might be experimenting with drugs. We can reach them at that age and at that time, and it's very intense. We speak very direct and very loudly, and everyone who is a boot camp instructor is a police officer. So we have kind of some enforcement and some escalation, de-escalation, skills that we can use to
Right.
try to
Right.
get the kids to do the straight and narrow.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then at the end of the boot camp, we take them on a jail tour where
Mm.
we let them see, these are the consequences of, violating the law. This is the consequences, and we let them talk to some of the inmates and so the inmates can let them know, and the inmates just basically just co-sign what we're trying to explain to them.
Right.
And I don't know if you've ever been inside of a jail or a prison, but I'm about 6 feet tall. I'm about 248 pounds. I lift weights every other day, and I'm afraid to go into the jail.
Yeah. I can tell you, growing up in Jamaica, prisons was a place that I visited often. I grew up
Mhm.
in the Salvation Army. I was a
Yes.
musician in the Salvation Army, and Easter and Christmas, we were always visiting hospitals, nursing homes, prisons. And so I got a little bit of that experience of interacting with inmates.
Yes.
And with I even worked for the Salvation Army here in Palm Beach, and we had a program, our Cub Scout program, involved the Palm Beach Police Department.
Okay.
And one of the trips was down to the police station, and we got
Mhm.
the tour of the police station, the holding cell, it being what it is like to get wounded, the
Yes.
you know walking through the
Yes.
police station, things like that. We took the kids through that,
Yes.
but
Yes.
what you're talking about is a little bit more intense.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are all of the drill instructors are, we're trained and certified by the Florida Drill Instructor Academy, and we know how to march, we know how to put formations together, we know how to exercise, the
Mm-hmm.
different exercises that the military uses. We've all been trained on those aspects, and instead of using a switch or a belt for discipline or any type of physical, we make them do push-ups.
Right.
So if you make a mistake, the push-ups are your punishment, and you'd be surprised how not not physically fit some of the kids are. So a couple of sit-ups and some push-ups, and a little jog around the track. Kids, they'll start to listen once they got all that youthful energy out.
Yeah, I used to let my sons do squats.
Uh-huh. Air
I,
squats, yes, sir.
I stopped spanking them early. We just
Yes,
got
sir.
into squats.
Yes.
And
Yes.
now we're at the point where I don't even have to say much.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
I grew up though with a different type of home policing. I
Yes.
grew up with the look.
Yes.
And it's kind of funny because I'd be at the back of the church I grew up in is pretty big. One of the largest Salvation Army churches in Kingston, if not the largest. And I'd be at the back of the church. My grandmother used to sing in the choir, and she sat at the front of the church. And I don't know how it is. My mother didn't do it really, but my grandmother did. And I'd be back there and chatting away, and I'd just feel the look. And so I look up, and our eyes would meet, and I just knew that's it. Stop doing whatever it was that I was doing and straighten up and fly right. So I got that different type of policing. And I didn't get the spankings or anything like that much. It was very rare that I ever got any of that. And fortunately for me, I had my sister on last week, the week before, to attest to that. But yeah, what you guys are doing, that really should make a major difference in the community. And since you started that program, what are the changes that you have seen, statistics wise? Wait, did I lose you, Chauncey? Hello? Oh,
You're there.
okay, there you are.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was you had asked me the changes that we've seen in the statistics.
Yes.
The majority of the changes in statistics that we've seen is in the schools. and the lowering of the suspensions and the discipline that happens at school.
Mm.
Once the children complete we teach them how to march. At the end of the boot camp, we do a presentation in front of their parents, and we show them different marching styles and how to crisscross and things of that nature. So we can do that for their parents, so their parents can see what we can accomplish in 1 week.
Right.
And then we do a gigantic. The chief has a big ceremony for their graduation, it gives them a sense of pride, a sense of accomplishment,
Mm-hmm.
and it allows their parents to see what we can do with them in 1 week. From that, we at least once a month we try to go to each kid's school while they're at school, and we go in our military dress, and we go right into the classroom and stand there in the front and listen and watch the children and how they behave as a follow-up. To let them know that this wasn't just me yelling at you for 1 week. This is me being your support, your back, and this is me as a tribe in the community,
Mm-hmm.
pushing you forward, expecting higher of you. And we find that those changes, we get rave reviews from teachers, from principals, from counselors, and that's where we get our biggest results.
Mm-hmm.
As far as any type of crimes or anything of that nature, we haven't had to arrest any of our kids that have gone through the boot camp. So
Excellent.
those kids, we haven't had to do that. So and many have
Yes.
gone on to the military. Many of them have gone on to college. Playing football. We just had one of our civilian employees at the police department put her nephew through, and because of COVID, I was able to go to his graduation, which was a drive-through graduation.
Mm-hmm.
And despite COVID, we got out and embraced him because I was so proud of where he was and where he was now.
Right.
But he'll tell everybody, he's like Sims was on me the entire time. But he's better for that, and he's going on to do bigger and better things, and that kind of gives the police officers, as a whole, a sense of accomplishment.
Right.
That what we're doing is not just going on TV being known for hurting people, but it's also we're having an impact on people's lives positively. So yeah, it's a very good program, and the way Chief's family has allowed us to run it and to continue to offer it to the community. It's it used to be called the Police Impact Program, and we changed the name to the Rescue Our Kids because that's a better goal. Yes, we want to have an impact, but we want to rescue our kids.
Yeah. That name kind of stands out a little bit more. I like that.
Yes, we call it the ROC, ROK, ROC program.
Yeah.
So when parents ask, it's like, I need to know about the ROC program. It's like, well, the ROC won't be there, but
hey, listen, it's not impossible though.
No, it's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
Not impossible. So yeah, that's one of our programs that we do. That kind of again it engages us not only with the kids but also with the parents.
Right.
We do have partnerships with Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies. We have partnerships with various churches so that we can offer the parents also counseling. We can offer them, support and assistance should they need it, because if you're a working family, it's kind of hard to take care of kids these days,
Right.
And so at the end of our graduation, we usually bring out our support systems. The Henderson comes out, and Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies, like I said, and we have various support groups that come out just to say, okay, now that you're done here, we have something else for you should you need that assistance.
Mm-hmm.
So that interaction makes policing a little bit more intimate, and it makes it so that it's not really policing. It's just it's more like interacting.
Right. And
so
that is now how you get to improve your effectiveness.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And not to go not to go off script, but
There's no
our
script
police
here.
officers, I mean, our drill instructors are white, they're male,
Hmm.
they're female, they're black. We have Spanish, so we have a
It's our
a
diverse
wide
group.
diverse group, absolutely, of police officers who are donating their time to make sure that this is going correctly, and it helps our white police officers interact and understand better how maybe a Haitian family might live or react or respond, or how their home life is. That
Right.
introduction breaks down a lot of barriers of miscommunication, you
Right.
know so it's beneficial both ways, and I think it truly it truly helps us in being a better police department.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, sir.
So with that, taking that into consideration, and looking at things that have been happening in the news, what has been the community's general response when they see you guys coming? Do you sense, is it tense in Lauderhill right now? Is there a sense of relief when you guys show up? You know, what is the environment like?
I believe that unfortunately, none of us is immune to what is going on.
Right.
It's affected each person and each person individually, and there are some people who would like to participate in the protests, and just voice their opinion on their experiences, negative and positive, with the police. And so there are some people that still don't like the police, you
Right.
know, and that's okay and it's understandable. Um, but for the most part, like I said, I've some of these people that are adults now have grown up with me as their police officer, and
Hmm.
so I myself personally have a lot of community relations with different people within the community. So I'm welcome, and a lot of the instructors, a lot of the people that work in our programs, a lot of the people that help mentor and things of that nature. We know these people, so they are welcoming of us.
Right.
I was just talking to my wife earlier. Prior to COVID hitting, and prior to George Floyd's killing,
Hmm.
every single homeowners association meeting I went to, every tenants meeting, every church clergy meeting I went to, every school was requesting more police presence. We have more police presence, and they were asking that of me, to request it from the chief in their neighborhoods. They want to see us there. They want to see us driving up and down, being a deterrent. Getting out and talking with people. They want to see more police presence. I have not heard our community say no, they don't want us there, and I have not heard our community say they want to defund or take funds away from the police department. Our community has not said that that I am aware of.
Nice.
Like one of your listeners has put on there, said thank you for your service. I
Hmm.
hear that a lot from every age group. From every age group, I still take pictures with kids when I'm out. I have toys that I keep in the trunk, and I still hang out, and people are still receptive to us in the city of Lauderhill. So I don't think that we have the issues that they may be having up north or even out west. We don't have that down here in Lauderdale, so it's a blessing.
I want to tell you, I have goose pimples starting hearing these stories, because it is really so amazing. I just this past weekend, I shared on social media about an incident with police officers and a man in a Walmart in Arkansas that happened
Mhm,
back in February.
mhm.
Of course, that wasn't as publicized as George Floyd in May,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
but it still speaks to interactions between the community on a whole and police officers.
Yes, sir.
And for all that to be going on, and for the city, the community of Lauderhill to be
Yes,
saying, "Yo, come on in,
yes,
let's do that." You have any more officers can come by, you know.
yes,
We want to see you. We
yes,
want to be interacting with you. That's a
yes,
big deal.
yes, man.
It really
Absolutely,
is.
absolutely, absolutely. And I can't speak for other police departments in other jurisdictions. Everybody
Hmm.
does things a little bit different based on your state, based on your county, based on the rules and regulations that were put in for your particular police department. But I think here in South Florida with the sheriff's office, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Palm Beach, I think that we kind of set the bar, I think, on police community relations. And because we're the most diverse area in the country as far as people who decide to take this profession on and people who decide to serve. Being a police officer is not an easy job, and I'll tell you this: if you want to make a lot of money and get rich, please do not become a police officer. It just doesn't.
Yeah,
It's just
don't
not.
do that.
Yeah, that doesn't happen that way. You
Right.
know, but I've lived a life of service, and I know that in order for the changes that the community wants to see,
Hmm.
they cannot be made from the outside in. They have to be made from the inside out.
Mm.
So, as a recruiting pitch, I reach out to all of my smartest, brightest young people
Right.
and let them know that, at this point in time, the way policing is going in America and the way things are going, you know, be a service to your community. Take the service route and serve, and come assist me and many others on, highlighting the better parts of police departments and police officers, because there's so many of us out here doing so many great things. A million great things can be overshadowed by one mistake killing.
You know,
So,
in the stew pot, and I didn't extend the invitation to all those listening. Anybody listening in want to be interactive. There are several ways. You can call, you can text, you can WhatsApp 773-789-STEW, 773-789-7839. You can, if you're overseas, you can Skype in kevin.stew. You can also jump into the stew pot on kevinstew.com. Others call it a chat room, but we're fancy. We call it the stew pot. It's where we keep things interactive. The water is always fine. Come on in. That's where we keep things bubbling. And in the stew pot is Dr. J Love. Now, she pretty much started Healthy Love, which is my Tuesday show, my health show,
mhm.
10 years ago. And she asked a question in the stew pot, and I think that might be a better question for your boss.
Yes.
Asking about what you feel about the militarization of the police forces nationwide. I think that would be a better question for your boss. And luckily for us, Jennys, Chief Stanley will be here with us in this capacity next week.
Yes, absolutely.
So you
Absolutely.
get to ask that question to his boss, Chief of Police of Lauderhill Police Department.
Yes, I think she would be better fit to answer that. There is an aspect of it that I will speak upon,
Yes.
and we have what we have the police officers have now called outer vests. So instead of wearing a vest underneath your police outfit,
Mm-hmm.
your uniform, is they're now on the outer side of your body, and police officers like to carry notepads and their cell phone and things like that within these outer vests. And
Right.
the outer vests look militaristic. They have a militaristic look,
Right.
but they're not done to present military or to try to be more aggressive. They're done because they're a lot cooler, and we can unzip them and catch some air. Whereas the ones that are
Mm.
worn against your body, you just have that on for the day. So
Yeah.
so just for that, the look is more for comfort instead of more of a military look.
Right.
But I think Chief Stanley would love to answer that question about militarization of the police department and police forces in America.
You have military training.
Yes, sir.
How many of you would you say a large number of the other officers also have military training?
A large number. I would probably guesstimate probably 20% of the police department has.
Okay.
It's not everyone. No, it's not everyone. No,
Right.
but we do have officers who have served or currently serve as reservists in the
Right.
military. Yes, yes.
Yeah, one of my friends in the Palm Beach Police Department, he is also Army Reserve.
Yes, sir.
All right. So
Yeah.
to come back a little bit to community policing, and
Yes, sir.
as we do that, I'm gonna say farewell to those tuned in on Facebook Live. Jump on over to kevinstew.com for the remainder of the broadcast. Maureen, welcome. Because I see you came on over. People hailing from all over the world right now. Jamaica representing in the stew pot. Thank you, Sharon. And I missed someone else earlier. Candice, welcome. Candice is giving us a like from in the UK.
Hello, Candice.
So
Thank you.
what you're saying is going all over the world, and I'm hoping reaching other departments in the US and other places where those police departments, that are looking to make a change and wanting a way to do it. Because again, I don't think it is one of those really easy things to do where it's just all right, do this and it's done.
Of course not. Of course not.
It takes some planning, it takes some a whole lot of communication between the community and the police department. One of the very well, actually, up until you guys, the only police officer that I actually knew personally out of Lauderhill was Debbie Banner, who
Yes.
retired last year, early
Yes.
last year before.
Yes. Yes. I think it was 2018.
Yeah, it seemed like just last year.
Yeah.
And Debbie is just awesome.
Yeah, she is.
It's hard to really picture her as a police officer doing police work as we know it.
Yes.
So
yes, I want to give a shout out to Debbie because she's what LeBron James is to basketball, she is to community policing. She
Wow.
knows everyone. She talks to everyone. She interacts with everyone. I don't care if you're upset or if you're happy or if you're sad. Debbie will talk to you and get you to come and participate in one of our programs. And she had that special skill to be able to do that. And then, she was a very good networker. So she was able to bring resources and bring people together, with everything that is offered. A lot of times we just don't even know that there's assistance for us, whether we're doing well or not doing well. Mm-hmm. There's assistance for us out there. And sometimes we just don't know. And Debbie just had a knack of being able to bring those two things together and, be very consistent with it. So
yeah, her retirement, sir, little, I can't even call it a service. It wasn't a service per se, but her retirement event. That was I was amazed to see how many people turned out, and it wasn't just the police officers; it was the community that filled that room.
Yes, absolutely.
It was just amazing.
Absolutely, and just like for a regular police officer, a road patrol officer, who may not have had an opportunity to work within our unit, they really don't know exactly the different community events and the community people that we know.
Right.
And so, they are, they in their mind, policing is what they do. They go out, somebody calls, you can respond to the call, you do your best to handle the call. You're always tactically sound. You're always, military dress, right dress. These are the things that they have to do to stay safe, number one. And number two, to be able to control a situation that might be out of hand.
Right.
So when you take a look at someone like Debbie, who does not fit that part,
Yeah.
you might be confused to believe that she's not effective in what she does.
Mm-hmm.
But I am here to tell you that she completely changed my mind when she worked for me and when she worked alongside of me in what she does within the community. So she's as effective, if not more effective, in preventing police incidences and things of that nature than anybody else within the police community. So
Big ups
yeah,
to Debbie
it's
Banner.
awesome.
Love, love,
Yes,
love, love her. All right, Facebook
yes.
Live, deuces. Jump on over to kevinstew.com.
uh,
All right, so good question in the pot. And just to you as a police officer, you know, what your opinion on community review boards for police involved shootings? Now,
okay. Go ahead.
it again is one of those things that working community relations has to be a hot topic.
Yes, yes, yes. It is, and currently we have one of our community liaisons looking into it to just determine if it's something that would be a good fit for our police department.
Mm,
I do know that I believe it's Miami-Dade has a civilian review board that looks over police involved shootings and things of that nature. Um, Currently, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement handles all of our officer involved shootings,
right,
removing our police department from any bias or any perceived bias through an investigation of that nature. Um, the Citizens Review Board or Community Review Board is just a difficult task to take on because you have to have someone who is versed on what we do. A lot of people just don't know what police officers do, what we're
mm-hmm.
supposed to do. Our Florida State statute book is 700-800 pages thick.
Mm,
We have a policy and procedures that's so big it's on the computer, not in printed form.
right,
We have a lot of rules and regulations that we must follow that a civilian or a community review board has to be versed in to be fair and to be able to look at it from not just the position of the community, but also from an officer who may be trying to save his life, or prevent further harm from coming to the community.
right,
And so the choices of who you would pick, the the special rules and security clearances and things of that nature that they would have to get is it's a big task, and you'd be asking a lot from someone who you'd be asking to come in without a bias. No political motivations, no community, no outside community motivations, just a clear evaluation of a situation to see how things go.
right.
But I'm going to defer that question. I'm sorry. I'm going to defer that one to our police chief because I don't want to dig that hole.
Right, right, right. I think I'm with you on that one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So
Yes, sir.
um, we have about a little bit about half an hour or so to chit chat some more, and this is one of the reasons why I would like for this to be an ongoing thing,
Yes.
because of all the facets to it.
Oh, absolutely.
All the moving parts, the various parts of the department, the police department on a whole, and the job that you guys in community relations have, and what it is that you're capable of doing in effecting a change. And that right there, I think is the biggest thing. You guys
Yes.
effecting change.
Yes.
Right now,
Yeah.
you said one of the things that you're directly involved in is a rock program, and
Yes, sir.
I love that because you bend the tree from its young,
Mm-hmm.
and that
Mm-hmm.
was that's something that a saying I learned when I was much younger, and at first I was like, "What are you talking about? Bending what tree?" But you apply it even in the literal sense, and it works. You want a
Yes.
tree to grow a particular way, you kind of mold it that way.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
that's what you're doing with the community. You're changing the community through the youth
Yes, sir.
and their parents. Now, of course, their parents will die off and they will grow up and take their parents' place. And that seed that you planted in them will now be make your jobs easier.
Yes, sir.
The parts of the community that are more crime ridden,
Mm-hmm.
because every community has them.
Yes, sir.
What has it been like in getting into those communities?
Well, currently we have a couple of communities that are rough, that are tough. And one of the things that I recognize is that there is a small element of that is just that they're just going to do illegal things, and that small element becomes the voice of that community because it puts the rest of the community in
Mm,
fear of retribution, in fear of not being politically correct, not being, that community correct. So that community now is in fear. And if you can direct your resources to that small microcosm of bad actors and
mm-hmm.
remove them from a situation, then you'll notice that the rest of the community will now come out of their shells and interact, and they'll come out and they'll speak up, and they'll come out and they won't take the rumors as true,
Right.
but they'll ask questions, and that will start your dialogue back. So that aspect of being a police officer and removing that negative element from the community, yes, it's necessary. It's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
We another thing is we have what's called the Citizens Police Academy.
Right.
So with the Citizens Police Academy, we bring citizens in. It's open to anyone, and they come in for, I believe it's 10 weeks, and each night for 3 hours, once a week. Uh, they come in and we have someone from each department, the detective bureau, the internal affairs, from every unit that's in the police department, and they share with them exactly what they do and why.
Mm.
This is why we do this. This is why we do that. This is why we do this. I know from the outside looking in, it may appear that it's bad, but this is why we do it. And it kind of breaks some of the ice, and it allows the community to understand what we do and why we do what we do. And they can ask these questions. We can have the back and forth dialogue, um, you know, so that there's an understanding. You may not agree with it, you may not like it, I may not like what you say, but at least we having the dialogue to exchange information, to exchange ideas. And,
Yes.
I'm sure the chief will come on next week and explain to you if there's a better idea that we can do.
Mm-hmm.
She's all open for it.
Yeah.
We're all open for it. If there's something better we can do, we work for the community. So come in and tell us, come in and show us. First, come learn what we have to do on a daily basis, and then, ask your questions, give us your suggestions, and, and we will do what we can to facilitate that so that, we're working for the community. Again, like I said at the beginning, instead of what we believe the community needs, we want the community to come and tell us what you need.
Right.
And when you redirect those resources in that manner, it's us working together instead of us working against the community.
Right. So is that open to people, civilians from anywhere? Or just that it's just for those that live residents of the Lauderhill community?
Okay, we open it up for residents of the Lauderhill community. But if we don't get a full class, we will open it up for outside the Lauderhill community.
You're just an exclusive club, aren't you?
but we welcome, because there's a lot of people that drive through Lauderhill. There's a lot of people that work in Lauderhill.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily live here, but they're still subject to our police practices and policies. So yes, we want them to know what it is that we do, and we want them to see the men and women that come to work every day, that they're on call every night, handling all of the calls and the things that we have to do, and let them explain. These people work this stuff 12, 14 hours a day. Let them explain what they do so you can understand, or have at least an understanding of, the challenges that we're faced with. You get a police officer in a situation where they have to make a decision in a split second. What is the process in which they make those decisions?
Right.
Safety first, preservation of life, and then, a graduation of, from the lowest amount of force necessary all the way to the most amount of force necessary. There's a process that we have to come to get to the end solution. And if we do everything right at the beginning, then we never have to get to the end part. But, there's a process. And so with those things, once you understand it, then it's no longer fearful. Now our interaction is not fearful.
Right.
It's interactive. And
again, this is why I need you guys to come on regularly, because when you're addressing things like a traffic stop, and we've all seen the videos where a traffic stop will go from a pullover to a shooting.
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir. And whether it is the cop getting shot or the cop doing the shooting, when us in the public see a piece of this and then we hear what happens after, and cops are always, not always, but we will always say the cops always get away with it. There are these things, these little things that a program like that, where you have the Citizen Police Academy, that happening, that's excellent. Absolutely. To have you guys come on this broadcast and walk us through in a night, an aspect of policing.
Yes.
As you would relate it to your community, you come here and you relate it to the community even on a wider scale. These are the things that are important. These are the things that help not you alone to get back home, but us to get home also.
Absolutely. I had, planned on speaking about traffic stops, and since we're going down there, I'll just say I'm a police officer, and I have been pulled over, and I get nervous during the pullover. So me knowing and having empathy about how this interaction is going to go, it is incumbent upon me to ensure that the person that I'm interacting with is as comfortable as I can make them under these situations.
No, that right there is a scary thought. You are a cop.
Yes, sir.
getting pulled over makes you nervous.
Well, think about it. When you get pulled over, you're like, "What did I do?"
Right.
It's the nervousness that I get is like my teacher looking over my shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what is she gonna say? You know, how is this gonna go? What did I do? What did I do wrong?
Right.
And I mean, most people are like me, and they, you feel like you do your best to not break the law while you're driving. So what did I do wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Or I was looking over at his paper, and did she catch me? Those are the two, uncomfortable, feelings that you get when you're being pulled over.
Right.
But those fears can be mitigated by just simple um, uh, little actions that can reduce the stress for both the police officer and the person being pulled over. The first thing would be we're in South Florida. Everybody's windows are tinted.
Mm-hmm.
If you are pull over to a safe spot, well lit, and roll all your windows down.
Mm.
If you roll all your windows down as the cop approaches your car, he can see inside of your car and know that there's no threat within that car. That will lower his stress level down, and then he can talk freely, which will lower your stress level down.
I'll tell you, my car is tinted and I have a sunroof.
Mm-hmm.
Everything goes open. I got one morning I was going to the soccer field and I was kind of pushing it. Cop pulls me over.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. I put all the windows down and opened the sunroof. Everything was
Yes,
open.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Then I leaned on the door with both hands.
Yes, sir.
I didn't even put them on the steering wheel. I put them outside.
Yes. I put them outside the car door is not necessary, but because we're all fearful now, because Facebook, YouTube, we've all seen the worst of the worst. We're all fearful. But as long as you keep your hands on the steering wheel or in a view where the police officer can see them, your hands and what you can reach to are no longer a threat.
Right.
And that's what the academy teaches. The basic academy safety is the hands is what can hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
So I also suggest the little driver's license, the registration and insurance cards that go on your visor. If you have the little holder that you can put on your visor, you keep your hands visible when you reach for them because you're reaching up. There's nothing up that has ever hurt anybody. It's always when you reach your hands down that everything gets hinky. But if you keep your hands up and reach up to grab your registration and your insurance, now the police officer's threat level is down. And his conversation to you is down because he no longer feels in fear of being hurt by what's inside of your car. So I make those suggestions, and in that way, that interaction starts off at a low level, and it doesn't have to be escalated.
Right. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and it just keeps everybody's stress levels down because everybody is nervous now. Police officers are nervous, and civilians are nervous, and it's being preyed upon by the internet, of course.
Right.
But as long as you keep your hands in view, then you have nothing to fear. The police officer feels no fear of what you're doing. And then if you have to reach for your glove compartment or inside your purse or to your back pocket for your wallet for the driver's license, just let the police officer know what you're going to do so that he understands where your hands are going to go. And those things kind of bring that threat level down. And then the interaction is calming. It's not, it's not intense because things happen negatively in intense situations when everybody's, adrenaline is pumping and, you're going to kill me and you're going to kill me. And now we're afraid we're going to kill each other. And then something bad happens because of it.
Well, when you look at a Philando Castile video,
yes,
you can only be very worried. Here it is. You had a civilian who was licensed to carry. stated that he was licensed to carry, wasn't even reaching for where his gun was. He told the officer what he was gonna do. He said, "I'm going to take out my license out of my pocket." He said what he was gonna do.
Yes.
And that was all caught on video.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know,
yes, sir.
so we get it where you say, keep your hands where the officers can see them, and because it helps to keep the threat level down. But there's also that side of it where, the officer could have had a previous run-in with someone and was on edge.
Yes, absolutely.
And
absolutely,
they may or may not have told their supervisor that they had that incident or that they are on edge.
Yes.
Because they're people too. I've done things where I should tell someone that I report to that I did a particular thing, but I don't. So, that happens too.
Oh yes, I will say, Kevin, listen, there are police officers. People make mistakes all the time, and for people who make those type of mistakes that cost lives, I can't speak to them at all, or can't speak to his mindset or what he did wrong or what he was going through. I can't speak to it. However, I do know that for me as a police officer, if you tell me I'm going to reach for my wallet, I know that you're going to do that. Some of the things that we can do better as police officers is to make sure we have a backup unit with us. So our backup unit can see from the opposite side of the car what you're doing as you're doing it.
Right.
And in that way, we don't have to respond like that police officer responded. Have you ever, if you've ever been pulled over, the police officer stands back away to make you turn your head towards him, and it's an uncomfortable look back at, why are you standing way back there? Come closer to my window.
Right.
Well, those things are done because if you come closer to the window, you stand right in the way of being shot.
Right.
But if you stand back, you make it a little bit harder for that person to harm you.
Right.
So these type of actions and trainings that we go through are just for those reasons, to make sure that, you can't hurt me while we're doing this interaction, and I don't have to be fearful, and I can back up from that area and retreat to a safe place
if need be.
Should something go bad.
Right.
But again, as you said, and it's just the truth. When the tensions are high, when your adrenaline is flowing, when you're fearful, you respond to protect yourself. Right, wrong, or indifferent. That's just we go into self-preservation, and we have it too much in the United States of America, where we're fearful of each other, and we respond in that manner.
As we're still on a little bit of traffic stops, for the individual that carries, what do you recommend to them?
I recommend that you keep your driver's license while you're driving, with your registration and your insurance card in your visor. Keep it in your visor. Then you don't have to reach anywhere near your gun. There's no way that you can be misconstrued, because two guns in a situation just is a bad idea. It's just uncomfortable.
Right.
And we have the Second Amendment, so everybody has a right to carry.
Right.
And if you have a concealed carry license, and listen, we pull over off-duty cops all the time because we don't know they're cops. We pull them over, and probably a large majority of the time they're carrying. So that interaction, is common, more common than what we think. But it's just making sure that we eliminate as much as we can to make sure that the outcome is good. So my suggestion, if you're fearful, if that's something that, if you're concerned, keep your information in that little carrier above your visor, and that way you can reach for it and grab it before the thing goes. And I don't have a concealed carry weapons license. However, I know that in that class you have to notify the police officer, hey, I'm carrying, and here's where it's at.
Right.
Yes, it's loaded, and this, that, and the other, and allow the officer to do whatever he needs to do to make sure that he's safe.
So,
which again, require us to call for a backup unit to assist us in whatever we have to do.
So you would recommend that this individual would say, as the officer walks up, that they carry, would they wait until the officer asks, are you in possession of any firearms or any weapons that could harm me? At what point does that information come out to make a police officer feel comfortable?
Right. During a traffic stop, most officers, I want to say almost all officers, ask you for three things. Your driver's license, your registration, and your proof of insurance. That's what a police officer will ask you for. Right. It isn't until we have to deal with you outside of the car that we ask about guns, weapons, C4, anything that may hurt, harm, or be a danger to us.
Yeah, the first time I heard the C4 thing, I almost passed out.
I usually do that as an icebreaker, just to bring everybody's attention level down. You got any C4 in the car? No, but it will bring everybody's bring that down. But we only ask for three things. It's very rare that a police officer will ask you, do you have any weapons in the car? Unless it's not a traffic stop for a traffic infraction. Now, if you're being investigated for transporting drugs, if you're being investigated, because you fit the description of somebody who just kidnapped somebody, if you got somebody tied up in the back, we're going to ask you if you got any guns, weapons, knives in the car.
Right.
Before we get you out of the car to conduct our investigation. But normally do your routine traffic stop. I need your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance to show me that you're licensed to drive this vehicle, that this vehicle is registered with the state of Florida, and the tag that's on the vehicle belongs to this said vehicle. And those are the things that we normally request, and that's what we need to conduct our traffic infraction investigation.
So the conversation of if someone carries, that doesn't even need to come up. If it's a routine traffic stop for a moving violation or anything, that doesn't need to come up at all.
Well, I don't think we ask as much as we should. We don't ask. But I think in order to have a concealed carry license, you have to notify law enforcement that you have it.
Yes.
You have to. So that is incumbent upon the citizens to do the right thing.
Right. And I make sure to ask those questions because there are a lot of carriers that forget these things.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and like again, I don't know anybody who's not uncomfortable about being pulled over. I don't know anybody who's like, oh, just getting pulled over. Okay, here we go. No, I think everybody has a little bit of anxiety about being pulled over.
Yes.
So that little bit of anxiety may make you forget, your basic things.
Right.
But again, my suggestion allows you to have it all in one place, all prepared, so that you don't have to think about it.
Right.
You don't have to react, you can respond. And that just keeps everybody safe.
You see, that right there only comes with preparation. Not having to react, but respond.
Yes, sir.
And that might have just flew over some people's heads in passing, but I caught that. don't think I didn't catch it. I caught that.
Okay, all right.
because it contributes to, one, a quick stop, and two, a smoother interaction.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. 100%.
And that's what we want.
Yes, and when we're all excited or when you're nervous, and you have to think about things quickly, you start reacting instead of responding.
Right.
And when you start reacting, you do things that is unconventional for you as your normal every day.
Right.
But when you respond, you do you. You are you, and this is how you react to just going to get a burger at McDonald's. Oh
Mm-hmm.
yes, sir. I got it right here. Here's the information, and you pass it on to the police officer.
Right. I have a little coin carrier, a little
Hmm.
coin drawer
Hmm.
right between the door and the steering wheel,
Yes, sir.
and I just got a new registration, new insurance.
Hmm. Hmm.
I folded that insurance and I tucked
Hmm.
it right there in that coin drawer.
Yes, sir.
it,
That's it.
it,
That's
it,
it.
it, it wasn't making it to the glove box. No,
Yeah.
I. So it's right along the lines of what you said. Keep it in the visor, above your
Yes.
head. Keep your hands where they can always be seen, because
Yes.
these things help to make that interaction easier.
Correct.
Are
And
these so?
and and
Go ahead.
go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I was going to say. And once the stress levels are down, and you're having a comfortable interaction with the police officer, he knows that you're not going to hurt him, and you know that you're not going to hurt him. You know that he's not going to hurt you. Now you can go ahead and start moving about the car freely without the fear of, oh my God, he's going to kill me. That fear, because now we have an
Right.
interaction. Now we've broken the ice. I know you, you know me. I feel comfortable now. Here's my information. Here, can I ask what I did wrong? Yeah, you ran through that stop sign back there. Oh my goodness, I didn't see it. And you go about however that's going to turn out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, um, so that's just my opinion, and these are things that I have found that help me.
Now that also kind of gives the explanation as to why a simple traffic stop, you'll see 3, 4, 5 police cars rolling up.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
people want to go home.
Absolutely. 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 There's nothing that you can do as a traffic violation outside of hurting somebody that would make me want to risk my life, to write you a ticket. It's just not necessary. Um, and we write tickets in areas because when we talk to the community, they say they're speeding down my street. They're speeding
Mm,
through and the kids are playing ball. So that's where we go to enforce. So our writing the traffic ticket is not us picking on anybody, but this is the area where we were called to by our community who lives here, who says, hey, this is dangerous. People are speeding up. They're not paying attention to the stop sign. They're, running the red lights. They're not paying attention. And that's where we
right,
go to enforce,
right,
and
right.
so that's just so people understand we're not picking on you. We're not. It's not. This is where we're sent to enforce in these areas because this is where our community. Well, I'm just speaking for the city of Lauderdale, of course. You know, um, when they say they're speeding too much on Inverary Boulevard, we send our traffic guys there and there they
Mm-hmm.
go.
Yeah. Well, Edinburgh Boulevard is kind of nice.
Hmm. Hmm.
you know,
Yes,
it
yes.
so and
It's a
these
nice long
cars,
stretch, smooth. Yes.
yeah, these cars these days, sometimes they just have a mind of their own.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
know.
sir. Yes, absolutely.
So you can't really blame a guy. No, that's not where I got pulled over, and I wasn't going that fast,
Yeah.
and it only warranted a warning. Thank goodness, because those
Yes.
tickets are expensive, and
Very
I had a
expensive.
CDL at the time,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
what everybody else pays for as an expensive speeding ticket, mine is tripled.
Yes.
at
Yes. I got you.
So I
I
did
got you.
away with the CDL because I no
Mhm.
longer need that that type of a license. I get pulled over, I get a
Oh,
ticket. No, I get a regular ticket.
yeah. There you go.
I
Yes.
got that
Yes.
CDL ticket, speeding ticket, one time. It was
One
all it took.
time.
That's
Yes.
all it took. Mm-mm.
Yes. Yes. I did want to add, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
one of the things, or when I was in the training unit and we had new cadets come in, and we're trying to prepare them. They finish the academy. We take them through an in-house of 2 weeks, where we teach them how Lauderhill does what they learned at the police academy. And
Mm.
in those trainings, they're taught, just the foundations. So what I like to do is to explain to the cadets that yes, writing a ticket is, what your job is when somebody completes an infraction. However, take into an account that you might be taking a single mother's last money for her month. It might make her
Mm.
miss her rent payment because she has to pay this ticket. You know, there's a lot of leeway that we have in those areas, where we can give warnings and just let people know, hey, we're here. This is, you can't speed or you can't do these infractions. So you have to take into an account, what somebody might be going through. They don't have a car that is, of this decade, and they're barely trying to get from point A to point B, and they're taking the kids to school or whatever. You have to be cognizant that how your actions may affect that person, not just in the moment, but over the long term. And so we do teach our officers these things so that they're aware, that you can't just affect their community negatively all the time just because, you want to write a ticket. And contrary to what a lot of people ask me, there are no quotas. And
You were reading my
quotas,
mind.
yes, quotas are against the law. We cannot issue quotas. You don't get any more extra money at all for writing tickets whatsoever.
Because
There's no extra money. There's no awards. The chief doesn't give us attaboys. No, we don't get that at all. So for anyone listening who thinks that's a thing, no. And the chief can come on next week and she'll co-sign what I'm saying. There are no quotas. We don't give people awards for writing the whole 70,000 uh, person community a ticket. No, we don't do that. So.
you see that was just going to be the thing. No, because you mentioning there's leeway. I was like, wait, doesn't
Yes.
that mess up the quota? But yeah, thank you for making sure to address that part of it. I think I lost you again. Your phone went mute or something. Hello. No, I really lost him this time. All right, let me quickly try to get him back before I close out this segment and jump into our musical therapy. I think his phone died.
Please leave your message
Yep,
for
that's it. His phone died. But maybe he'll give us a call back in before we get through our musical therapy and say goodnight. If not, I understand also. We get to bring him back. Like I said before, next week we get to talk to his boss. This, all being well, all things working out, will be an ongoing thing. Because if we didn't need it before, we definitely need it now. We need to learn how policing works. We need to know the things that we should do, the things that we can do, the things that work in making a traffic stop go smoother, things that work in a domestic call. You have a situation at home, you have a situation at your friend's house, and somebody calls the cops. What rights do you have? What rights do they have? These little things are what I'm hoping to accomplish from having these interactions with the police department's community relations department. And the Lauderhill Police Community Relations Department has been gracious enough to come and have this interaction with us. Because, like I said at the beginning, what I have discovered, what I have found out, is Lauderhill policing works. Whatever it is that they have been doing has been working. And for that, I tip my hat to the Lauderhill Police Department, because they're doing something right. And other police departments can learn from them. Not to say that the other police departments are doing everything wrong. I'm just saying the Lauderhill Police Department is doing it right. And so hats off to them, hats off to Chief Stanley with the job that she has been doing. What I'm going to do right now is take a quick little break, and then we come back and we wrap up tonight in musical therapy. All right? Sound like a plan? Cool. We'll be right back after these messages.
I'm Khalid Thompson.
I'm David Muir.
And we are the co-founders of a cultural nonprofit in Florida called Island Space.
For many reasons, now more than ever, we need the support of our communities.
As Caribbean Americans, we have the unique ability to claim everyone from the island as members of our Caribbean American family.
We are working to create a home for that family.
The Island Archives will become an internationally recognized museum of history.
Visitors can learn that although we are unique, we are truly stronger together.
Learn more at islandspacefl.org.
It takes an entire village to raise a child. Hello, I'm Paul Campbell, here to talk about Palace. Peace and Love Academic Scholarship. This nonprofit group supports students facing serious obstacles from entering or continuing their studies, not because the grades are failing, but due to the lack of financial support.
Over the past 8 years, Palace has awarded 600 scholarships valued at approximately 50.3 million Jamaican dollars, or 415,000 US dollars.
Together, we must build a better future for our children. Please visit www.palace1.org and make your donation to brighten the future of a deserving child. Palace, preserving young minds for posterity.
It's Christine representing for DJ Kevin. You see me, I say, I don't know the boss. You see me, I say, DJ Kevin Stew and the night shift radio show. Yo, it at the thing, turn up the thing loud. Whoa, DJ Kevin Stew at the heart of a champion. Never underestimate, just choose him. The silver line behind the dark clouds. DJ Kevin Stew believe him, and that's no doubt. Salute the night shift radio show, Christine. This is hard to talk.
BSF 15 of them, man. They got a nose with the virus. And 30 of them.
It's hiding in the bushes and lurking in the creeks. Now ain't the time for the heart to be weak. Stand up like a warrior by your feet. Don't sleep. Them tell I neighbor to self-quarantine. Him better bite from the big Wolverine. If you touch me gate and if you try to come in, I will clog it like a tail around machine. Whoa, school shut down, restaurant shut down. Them cancel every gathering, DJ can't play sound. Shut down, all the church shut down. Them can't collect no offering from the beast in town. Them bust the chain and make the creature roam. The man they said that it can China own. Nobody not safe in that this danger zone. Protect your yard, protect your home. Paranoia and pandemonium they are.
So I managed to get him back.
Yes.
I was saying when I lost you, just before I lost you there, as we kind of have the real storm hold on for a little bit with the Angry Beast. Thank you for clearing up that whole concept of the quotas for the tickets.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because saying that there's leeway, I was thinking, boy, that's gonna mess up the quota. So somebody else is gonna feel it somewhere else.
Yeah, no, there's no quotas. No quotas at all. It does demonstrate when a police officer writes tickets that he is working. He is working in his area, making sure that people are following the rules and regulations in that area. So it does demonstrate that they're working. But there's no quotas, and the chief doesn't hold that standard for us at all.
But conversely, it also shows that the police are working when there are no tickets, because that now says that nobody's speeding, nobody's breaking the law.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. I wanted to speak about, you had mentioned change and trying to facilitate change. And I believe that we all have to change together. I think if one entity changes, if you're in a marriage and one person changes, the other person is going to be like, "What's wrong with you?" I think we have to change and grow together, and it has to be a partnership between the two entities. Those that serve and those that are being served, so that we can grow with a better understanding of what needs to be done. Because I live in an area where I enjoy having police officers drive by, and make sure that my property and my people are safe. But conversely, I don't want my people or the people that I love and that I care for to be threatened or to be hurt by a police officer who may not be doing the right thing. So,
Right.
It's a partnership of understanding and interaction. So
nice. And like I was saying also, while you were off, I look forward to these interactions where the community relations department, whether it is you or lieutenant, whomever it is that gets to represent, comes on and shares these things and on an ongoing basis.
Yes.
Because it is that knowledge that influences that change.
Absolutely.
And once we have that change in the mindset, when we get pulled over and we have our information right there and we keep our hands in the right place, everything's go that much easier.
Yes, absolutely. I think about the change that they did with the airlines. We have to go through TSA now, and no one argues about what the TSA says. Even if you brought that extra lotion bottle that was too big, you don't argue with the TSA, because what they're doing is to keep you safe and keep everybody else safe.
Right.
And I just want police work to become like that, so that people know that we're not doing it to direct or to attack any person, any one single person, any group of people, but we're doing it to keep our community and keep that said person who we're interacting with safe. And once we have that understanding, then it should go as smooth as the TSA goes when you're getting on the airport.
I'll say this before I let you go. It takes a special person to become a cop.
Yes, sir.
I think it takes an extra special person to go into community relations while in the police force.
Absolutely. Service isn't for everybody. Everybody doesn't have that heart or that mindset or the empathy to be service driven and to think of others before you think of yourself.
Right.
And at the Lauderdale Police Department, I can speak for the men and women that I work with and I work around. I wouldn't tolerate anyone doing to someone something that's not supposed to be done. Violating any civil rights that can happen in front of me. And so if I'm supervising you and you do that, then you have to come off the road immediately. and we have to go talk about it somewhere else. And maybe you need to become an accountant or or a teacher. But if police work is not for you, then let's talk about it. Or you conform to the service portion of our job, and work for the people that pay your salary. And I'm sure that the chief, when she comes on next week, she'll echo the same thing. She doesn't tolerate it. She does not tolerate it. So.
I'm gonna ask you a personal question, and you can choose to or not to answer this.
Yes, sir.
When you saw the George Floyd video,
yes, sir.
First emotion.
It was horror. To watch another human being live being hurt, tortured, to be dealt with in such a manner. It's hard for me as a human to be able to do that. I can't take it. And to further see and know that is something that has never come across me in my career of 17 years, and I've dealt with your best and your worst of your worst. Mm-hmm. I can't even go down on one knee for 9 minutes. Maybe it's my age, but I can't. That 9 minutes is a long time. But that's a long time for that situation, and there's so many different ways to have handled that would have completely changed that ending. So listen, police officers are the first to tell you that when we see things of that nature, we know what is going to happen after it's over. We know how people are going to look at us just because we wear the uniform, and how all of this hard work for 17 years, working with parents, working with kids, working with friends and family within the city of Lauderdale, how that can be just taken away in 8 minutes and 36 seconds, just be destroyed. Yeah. And so, we're now here with the rebuilding of that to try to rebuild this thing back better than it was, and to, rebuild this trust that we had prior to it occurring.
Mm-hmm. Chauncey, I want to thank you very much for taking the time out. Ladies and gentlemen, Officer Chauncey Sims of the Lauderhill Police Department, Community Relations Department. Thank you. I truly appreciate you taking the time out to come and chat with us. Big ups to Lieutenant Santiago. For a moment there, I lost it. Yeah, big ups to Lieutenant Santiago for making a connection. Looking forward to chatting some more.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
For you guys to educating us. Yes. We all get to relearn how to police together. Because you guys wear the badge and carry the guns and have the handcuffs and everything, but policing is not just your job.
Correct.
It's all our jobs.
Yes, indeed.
And like I said at the beginning, you can't effectively do your job unless we are participating.
Absolutely.
And Lauderhill community model. You guys are the police, the citizens of the residents of Lauderhill. That's a model right there.
Yeah.
You're gonna say something.
I was just gonna say I give all that credit to Chief Stanley and her administration and the things that they put into place. And it's a pleasure to be able to speak with my people, our people, and to share and learn. There's questions, and there's some good questions that came across the stew pot, and these things are help us do it better, because we can answer these questions, and not only answer them but learn from them, so that we can now take this information back to our people and make sure that they're walking in partnership with our community. So I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Hey, not a problem. Like I said, this is gonna be ongoing, so I know you have a lot of material. We got a lot of time.
Yes, sir. All right.
All right. You have a great night. Please thank your wife and the boss for allowing you to spend some time with some other people.
Yes, sir. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, man. You take care. Have a great night. Stay safe.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You too.
All right, man.
All right.
Blessings. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Officer Chauncey Sims, Lauder Hill Police Department. Listen, we can only grow and get better and have better experiences if we take the time out to get to know the members of our community. Police, they're a part of our community. And like it or not, they're there to stay. And if we are doing the right things, it makes the interaction with them that much better. Even when we have done something wrong. The transition to paying for that. Because, you know, we all have to pay for everything. It makes it that much easier. The consequence, recognizing it, going through the process. Yeah? We got, 7 minutes of musical therapy? Kicking it off again with The Real Storm. Track called Angry Beast from her most recent EP, Foreign Life.
Me as a 15 of them, they got a nose with the virus. 30 of them.
The angry beast got away in the streets. It's hiding in the bushes and lurking in the creeks. Now ain't the time for the heart to be weak. Stand up like a warrior by your feet. Don't sleep. Them tell I neighbor to self-quarantine. Him better bite from the big Wolverine. If it touch me gate and if it try to come in, I will clog it like a tail around machine. Whoa, school shut down, restaurant shut down. Them cancel every gathering, DJ can't play sound. Bar shut down, all the church shut down. Them can't collect no offering from the beast in town. Them bust the chain and make the creature roam. The man they said that it can China own. Nobody not safe in this danger zone. Protect your yard, protect your home. Paranoia and pandemonium they on ya. Everywhere turn off them lights and lock door tight. Not even dark now walk a night. Oh my, the angry beast got away in the streets. It's hiding in the bushes and lurking in the creeks.
I hope y'all get it.
No time for the heart to be weak.
The story of the angry beast. Talking about the Rona.
Them tell I neighbor to self-quarantine. Him better bite from the big Wolverine. If it touch me gate and if it try to come in, I will clot it like a tail around machine. Through the beast me can't go show me partner. But me glad me have a little marijuana. Light it up and lay down on me little sofa. While I'm giving thanks to Jah for life. Cancel me flight fi go a California. Me hear the beast about the dance some Azisopia. Send me mix a buckle of some strong ammonia and chant a prayer upon the dirty swine. Paranoia and pandemonium they on ya. Everywhere turn off them lights and lock door tight. Not even dark now walk a night. Oh my, the angry beast got away in the streets. It's hiding in the bushes and lurking in the creeks. Now ain't the time for the heart to be weak. Stand up like a warrior by your feet. Don't sleep. Them tell I neighbor fi self-quarantine. Him better bite from the big Wolverine. If it touch me gate and if it try to come in, I will clot it like a tail around machine. Daddy can't go work, mama can't go work. Everybody living in fear. Oh yeah, I have to put you first. He guide I through the worst. Now it's a jungle out there. The economy a fall when the lockdown starts.
those of you who don't know, the real storm actually works in the healthcare department, in the healthcare services.
It's hiding in the bushes and lurking in the creeks. Now ain't no time for the heart to be weak. Stand up like a warrior by your feet. I will bless the Lord at all times. I will praise.
As we close out giving thanks, it's called Glorious.
And consider His way.
The sound of Shauna Dazzle.
Mercy's pouring down like rain, and I'm flooded by grace. And not because of
Member of the sensational dynamic sound, along with Suzanne Sultry and Dottie.
May they come to testify.
This is Shauna's track called Glorious.
How reminds of your glorious name. May the whole world see the light. May they come to testify. May they know the power and might of your glorious name. I cannot believe your name. I cannot but give you praise. I know where I could be now, so I stand unashamed.
Reminding you to join me same time, same place, right here,
Down in spite of
10 till midnight, tomorrow with Healthy Love.
faithful, you reign in majesty.
Until then, y'all take care. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you, wherever you are in the world.
May they come
From right here until Florida, I bid you all a good night.
reminds of your glorious name. May the whole world see the light. May they come to testify. May they know the power and might of your glorious name. Whoa, whoa, got my list, cannot remember how you saved my son and protected my unborn child from the bullets of the gun. Remember how you gave me faith when my strength was less than great. You know, God, you were never late. God, I know you're on my side. You have shown up every time, my God. So I had to bend this tune, 'cause where would I be without you? Hey, hey, the whole world see the light. May they come to testify. May they know the power and might of your glorious name. Oh, may the whole world see the light. May they come to testify. May they know the power and might of your glorious, glorious, glorious.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.